Hi, hello, and welcome to another interesting session on analog and digital communications. In today's session, we'll see the analog pulse modulation techniques, that is, the pulse width modulation and pulse position modulation. So, let's get started. So, another name for pulse width modulation is pulse duration modulation. So, pulse width modulation is also known as pulse duration modulation. So in this pulse width or pulse duration modulation, the width of the pulse varies according to the amplitude of the message signal. So here the message signal is a sine wave. So the sine wave varies in its amplitude from 0 to maximum, maximum to 0, again 0 to a negative value and negative to 0. So based on this amplitude variations in the message signal, the width of the carrier pulse also goes on varying. So this is the principle of operation in the pulse width modulation or pulse duration modulation. So we have three types of pulse width modulation or pulse duration modulation. The first one is the pulse width modulation can be done by triggering at the leading edge of the pulse. Second one is the pulse width modulation can be done by triggering at the trailing edge of the pulse. The third part is the pulse width modulation can be done by triggering at the middle of the pulse, at the middle edge of the pulse. So these are the three types of pulse width modulation. So you can see in this diagram, here the first is the carrier signal, which is a train of pulses. The second is the modulating signal or the message signal. So these are the three types of pulse width modulations. See the first one, this is triggered at the leading edge. If you see the carrier pulse, this part we call it as the leading edge and this part is known as the trailing edge. So when the output appears from here, so this part is known as the leading edge pulse width modulation. If you see this one, the second one, here at the trailing edge, the pulse width modulation occurs. The last one is at the middle of this pulse. So this is at the center of the pulse. So these are the three types of pulse width modulations. So pulse width modulation can be generated by using a simple comparator. So we can take a simple comparator and apply two signals as its input. So one is the message signal, the second is the carrier sawtooth waveform. So the comparator, it will compare both of these two signals and it generates a pulse width modulation at the output. So here it checks for two conditions. One condition is if the carrier signal amplitude is greater than the message signal amplitude, then it generates a signal of DC voltage which is having a magnitude of -1, and if the message signal is greater than the carrier signal, then the output of the comparator will be a +1. So at the output of the comparator, we get only two pulses or two values, that is +1 or -1. So you can see the comparator here. This is a comparator which is with two inputs. One is the sawtooth carrier signal and the second one is the sinusoidal modulating signal or the message signal. So whenever this sawtooth waveform the carrier amplitude is greater than this modulating signal, it generates an output of -1. You can see this part, this is generated when carrier amplitude is greater than the message signal amplitude, and when the carrier signal amplitude is less than the message signal amplitude, the comparator generates a value of +1. So in this way, the output of the comparator is a series of pulses with two amplitudes. One is +1 and the second one is -1. So these are some of the applications of pulse width modulation. It is used in telecommunications for encoding of the pulses. So in telecommunications, we use these values ones and zeros. So they are generated by using the pulse width modulation. So pulse width modulation is also used in voltage regulation. It is also used in controlling brightness in smart lighting systems. It can be used in controlling the speed of motors. Also to control the heat generated in the computer motherboards, and also it is used in audio and video amplifiers. So these are some of the applications of pulse width modulation. So we have a disadvantage of this pulse width modulation. So if you see here, this is the PWM signal. You can see that the amplitude the width of the pulse is varying according to the amplitude of the message signal. So if you see this PWM signal, it is having, each pulse is having a different width. So the larger width of the pulses, if you see, this is a larger width of the pulse. In this larger width of the pulse, a lot of power is wasted. But these pulses also carry the same amount of information as the smaller width pulses. So the disadvantage of pulse width modulation is the larger width pulses. In the larger width pulses, a lot of power is wasted. So that is the biggest disadvantage of pulse width modulation. So this disadvantage is overcome in the next topic, that is the pulse position modulation. So in pulse position modulation, you can see this is the pulse position modulated signal. You can see the width of the pulses is almost constant. So every pulse is having the same width. That is the disadvantage in pulse width modulation is overcome or removed in the pulse position modulation. So this is the concept of pulse position modulation. So this is a modulating technique in which the amplitude of the pulses as well as the width of the pulses is kept constant. But here the position of the pulses is varying. So you can see the position of the pulses is varying, whereas the width of the pulse is constant. So the first signal, this is the message signal or the modulating signal. The second one, this is the second one, which is the periodic sequential pulse train, that is the carrier signal. So both of these two, the generation of PPM is also the same as PWM. In PWM, what we have done, we have taken a comparator and applied both of these two signals as the input. That is, one is the message signal, the second one is the periodic pulse train, which is the carrier signal. Both of these two signals are applied as the input. Then at the output of the comparator, we get this PWM signal. So we have already seen that the disadvantage of PWM is that in the larger width of the pulses, power is wasted even though they carry the same amount of information. So to overcome this disadvantage, we are using the pulse position modulation, where the position of the pulses varies according to the amplitude of the message signal. And the disadvantage in PWM is removed in this pulse position modulation. You can see the width of the pulses is constant. Amplitude is also constant. Only the position of the pulses is varying. So this is the PPM. So this PPM can be generated from PWM itself. So for generating PWM, we have taken a comparator and applied both of these two signals as the input. One is the sinusoidal message signal, second is the carrier signal, which is a sequential train of pulses. So when both of these two are applied, depending upon the amplitude, whichever is greater, whether it is the modulating signal or the carrier signal, the output of PWM is generated as +1 or -1. So from PWM, PPM can be generated. So this PWM signal is passed through a monostable multivibrator. So a monostable multivibrator is also known as one-shot multi, where the monostable multivibrator can be triggered at the leading edge or at the trailing edge of these pulses. So whenever the pulse width modulated signal is applied to a monostable multi-vibrator, the monostable multi, it gets triggered either at the leading edge or at the trailing edge. So whenever the monostable multi-vibrator is triggered, it generates a pulse of constant width. Again, here we have taken the trailing edge of the PWM signal. So at this trailing edge, the monostable multi-vibrator is triggered. So immediately it generates a pulse of constant width. Again, at the next pulse, at the trailing edge of the next pulse, this part, monostable multi is triggered. So it generates a fixed duration pulse. So here it is triggered. Again, it is generating a pulse. So everywhere you can see at the trailing edge of these PWM pulses, the monostable multi-vibrator is triggered. Hence, at that particular instant of time, it generates a pulse of constant width. So this is how a pulse position modulated signal is generated. So these are some of the, this is advantage and disadvantage. So as the amplitude and width are constant, power is also constant. So there is no wastage of power because all the pulses are of the same width and duration. So one disadvantage is that there should be synchronization between the transmitter and the receiver. So this is all about the pulse width modulation and pulse position modulation. So these both are also analog pulse modulation techniques. So in the last video we have seen the one of the analog modulation technique, analog pulse modulation technique, that is the pulse amplitude modulation. So along with PAM, PWM and PPM also come under analog pulse modulation techniques. So that's all. I hope I am clear. Thank you.